Hi, in this session I'm going to cover how to create a calculated item. According to the Microsoft Knowledge Base article, a calculated item is a user-defined item in a pivot table field that can perform calculations using the contents of other fields and items in the pivot table. Well, that was kind of a mouthful, but a simpler way to think about it, a calculated item is it's just a feature that allows you to create new items that aren't really a part of the original data source that can appear and you can use in your pivot table. Let's go ahead and see how we can create a calculated item. I have this pivot table of data, quarter data, January, February, March for different countries, and these countries are aligned to a theater and there's sales data for it. So to go ahead and create a pivot table out of this, I can just click in any cell of that table. I'll go ahead and use the keyboard shortcut, the Alt key, NVT. That's going to bring up the Create Pivot Table dialog box. Excel smart enough to know the range of the table A1 to D22, A1 to D22 down here. And I'm going to put in a new worksheet. Click OK. And let's bring in the theaters down to the row labels here. Let's bring the months down to the column fields, and the sales data or the sales into the summation for the values field or the values area. Now, by default, Excel creates the pivot table under the compact form. So you see that you have these row labels and column labels, and that's not really too descriptive. I want to have it where it says theater and month. So what I need to do is go under Design and go under Report Layout and have it show in tabular form. You can see now it's a little bit more descriptive. So let's say that we have these theaters here and the organization changed. There's reorganization, and no longer is there a North America theater that's separate from a South America theater. That's all one theater called the Americas. So we can change this by creating a calculated item. So what we do is we just kind of select that cell in the row label cell, go under Options. In the Calculations group, go to Few Items, and we have a calculated item selection here. One thing to note is that if we clicked outside of this row label area and we wanted to go to the field items, and we'll see that the calculated item is grayed out. It's not selectable. So we need to click in the row label cell here to do that. So after I click in it and selected it, the dialog box will come up and it will let me add the formula. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. We're going to call it Americas. Oops, Americas. And for the formula, I am going to add North America, and I just double click that, and then plus South America. You can either double click or just insert item, and it'll put it into the formula field. One thing to note about creating a calculated item is you cannot put items from different fields together. So for example, this would be a silly example, but let's say I put month and I wanted to add January to there. If I added January, it'll let me add it into the field, but once I click OK, I'm going to get an error message. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So you can only add items within the same field, right? So I'll go ahead and click OK. I have a North America and South America, and now I have an Americas item. One thing to note about this is that you can see that this is actually summing these two, right? So we have 9664. If we select those two, you can see that it sums 9664. But also, one thing that's kind of bad is that grand total, it sums everything. Now, in a way, it's really double counting because we really only have these 4 data pieces, and that should sum up to 30,000. But we have 40,000 because it's including this, the last one. So what you can do is to get around that is to filter it and remove or hide North America and South America, since it's the combination of those two, and we just have our Americas, and then our grand total comes out correctly. So that's the way we can use calculated items in a pivot table. In a way, it's not really as useful as maybe grouping, and I can cover that in a later video. But so if you like to use calculated items, this is how you do it. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.